Welcome to NET Vapor Reviews. The Aston RDTA. Look at this tiny and elegant RDTA. As usual with me, there is a small story behind this tank. One of the smokers that I convinced to start vaping at the time chose the Smok Nord on the 0.8 ohm coil, and that is a bit of a loose mouth to lung. And I think I mentioned it actually in the review of that Smok. He wanted to upgrade to a rebuildable, but he said to me, I do not want a tank where wicking is an issue. So I went through quite a few options with him on tanks that is easy to deal with. And then I decided to suggest to him an RDTA. Now, I've got an RDTA tank. This is the Brunhilde. But he wanted something compact. I mean, this tank is massive, but it's an excellent tank. The way it gets its liquid is through metal rods that go down the tank. You can watch my review on this Brunhilde. Excellent tank. He wanted something small. Now look at the difference between these two, right? So we decided to go to the Aston RDTA by AllianceTech Vapor. AllianceTech Vapor is a French company who do very good vaping gear. And I was looking through this tank and there's various components, and I decided this is going to be the best for him, because it can be a loose mouth to lung. It could be also used in a future date if he wants to go direct to lung. It could be used as a direct to lung tank. It's got the right size, very good flavor. The mouthpiece we're going to talk about. You can change it to something else if you want. Anyway, let's go first down to the build and wick that I've done with this tank, and then we're going to talk about it a bit further. Right, so we're going to go about to have a look at the Aston RDTA designed by AllianceTech Vapor. It's a French company who actually quite good at what they do when it comes to vaping gear. So here's the tank. It comes in this pouch here, and this is the tank. Very nicely packaging. I always like when it comes elegant, neat. Before we open this, let's just see what else we've got in here. You got a squonking pin, as you can see. This is for the e-liquid, to put it a cap for the e-liquid, we'll see in a minute, and O-rings and a few screws. What else? Screwdriver and a manual, obviously. Oh, and a frosted glass, plastic or glass, I'm not sure. We'll talk about it later. Yep, that's it. We're going to use the clear glass that's already on the tank, and here you get a nice manual, many languages. Yep, I don't think you need the manual, but if you need it, you have it. Let's put aside everything else. Let's have a look at the tank. So this is the tank. Very neat, very tidy, very elegant, very compact, and it comes in a nice stand that you can use later on. This will come handy as well. Nice stand. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at the tank. Well, here's the airflow first of all. So you can see you could open it fully, close one, and close 2, and yeah, and then both sides same idea. And if we take off the cap, you can see I washed it properly, obviously, so you might see droplets of water here and there, but always wash your tanks when you get them. You never know what else is in here. So you can see the airflow holes here, nice dome. The mouthpiece is not so mouth to long, so, and I don't think you can put any other mouthpiece here, so you're really stuck with what they've got. And I think as well they can give you this in silver as well, to match everything else. I'm trying to get this threaded on. That's not threading on properly for some reason. Okay, now the top bit here just comes off, so maybe you can put in here another mouthpiece. Let me take off my Pandora. Yeah, you could put a mouthpiece here. I suppose so. Yep. Okay, so that at least we discovered that. So it's a 510 mouthpiece. You can change it if you want. Okay, let's carry on. This is the deck. Now, as you can see, Aston, I'm looking at the screen, Aston RDTA 2100, and in here you put your wick. So we're going to talk about it later, but if you always get confused with the wicking and you can't be bothered with the whole stress of it, well, it's easy if you know. It's quite easy, yeah, but if you don't want to have this whole idea of wicking to get the wick right, this is the easiest way to do it, the RDTAs, because you just drop your wick into the tank and it'll just peek out from here, and every time you tilt it, it will moisten the, you'll never have a problem of dry hits. Unless you leave it this way, it will leak, but otherwise it wouldn't. Yeah, so it's a quite nice laid out deck. Now, to open this compartment, to take off the glass, you need to open up the 510, because as you can see, the 510 is protruding here, and it's holding the whole thing together. So let's take this out. Actually use this screwdriver. And you see this is a normal 510, and now this should screw off like that. As you can see, there is threading here and threading here. Yep. And then you just take off your glass and clean it properly. So this is the tank. You've seen all the components. So we can put it back and go about building the deck. Let's put in the 510. This 510 is a bit protruding, so you can use it on a hybrid mech mod. It's protruding just about. Yeah. Okay, let's put it now on the stand. Oh, before we put on the stand, I have to see, I was debating what kind of coil to put in here, because this looks like a big coil, a big deck. So if I use their stand, just to show you, if I put in a 0.8 ohm fuse Clapton, 2.5 millimeter in diameter, you will see that the coil simply disappears in the deck. It's just too small. Yeah, it's just too small. You can use it, but it's just very small. So I'm going to make my own 3 millimeter coil. I've got here the from Nature Vape. Let me just move things out from here. I've got here the 26 gauge round wire. So I'm going to just go about to make a 3 millimeter coil. So here I've got a 3 millimeter tool. And I want to make them tightly spaced together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So hopefully I'll get a 1 ohm coil here, because he wants this he wants to use this tank as a mouth to long, with a mouth to long coil and wattage of a mouth to long as well. He doesn't want to use it. He likes loose mouth to long draws, so this tank is perfect for him, because you can't really, well, we'll go through the airflow later, but you can't really get a very restrictive unless you close the airflow nearly completely. Okay, let's go about building the deck now. So we've got the coil done. Now I just want to show you that you can put in here I've got here an Alien coil, 0.32 ohm and a 3 millimeter. Now this is a proper RTA coil, direct to long. I mean, you can see it's quite a beefy coil, and this will be perfect here. Perfect. So you could vape this direct to long, no problem, but he wants it as a mouth to long. So we'll see how we go about it. Okay, let's put in the coil. I need to make sure I'm centered in the camera. Right, so what we do is we take the coiling tool, and this will give us a hand to get it in. And that's it. That's basically, it's in. Now you got here like a lip. You see this lip here? I'll show you in a minute. So you just rest your coiling tool on top, and you can secure the deck while the coil is bang on central. Okay. Now, since the airflow is on the sides, you want the coil to be a bit lowered, but you can't lower it with your, because you got this, you can see this, see this indent in the tank itself. Trying to get the angle. See, it's here. So you can't lower it too much. So with your finger, just lower it a bit. So like this, the airflow hits the coil. So look like this. Yeah. Let me get the lighting on. I hope you can see this clear. Yeah. So that's the way it is. Because normally is airflow on the bottom here, so you get your coil near to the airflow, but here the airflow on the sides, so you want to get the coil just like parallel to the airflow itself. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's cut the leads. By the way, these are so sharp that you could bleed if you're not careful. So it happened to me a few times, twice, and then I learned my lesson. They're so sharp, it's like a knife. I mean, you could get in your cutters right in, but I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, that's it. I think it's okay. Well, I'm not so happy about this one. Hold on. Okay, let's fire it up. They're a bit spaced, so I don't think you'll have any problems with the hotspots. Don't think you'll have a problem with hotspots here. No, I just want to get them a bit more. So the secret is, if you want to get them a bit tighter, you fire it up, switch it off, and then just with your tweezers squeeze them together while they're hot. Okay, let's see the ohms. Yeah, 1 ohm, 105, more or less 1 ohm. Yeah, but you can see how the coil is, you can put in quite a beefy coil in here. I mean, even this one is a 3mm, it's still got quite a lot of space. Okay, let's wick it. So I've got a piece of cotton here, Muji organic, Japanese Muji. You'll need tweezers. Oops, it's on. The ohms might change when you put in the cotton and everything else. So now you should get some resistance, but not too much. Perfect. Now, cotton, you don't want to leave them too long. You don't want it to look silly in the tanks. Anyway, when you tilt it, it moistens the cotton. So I think I would leave them somewhere around there. Yeah, something like that. And then the only thing you're left to do is fold them in. Fold them in into the juice wells. Right in, that's it. There's nothing to it. There's no technique. You just get them in. So what you get is something like this. You can see a bit the fluff of the cotton. And the same thing here. You don't really have to fluff them up because it's going to be immersed in juice in any case. Yeah, perfect. So you'll see two fluffs of cotton coming out. If you don't want to see them, you could always use the frosted glass, and then you wouldn't see the cotton through the glass. But I think it looks okay. Okay, let's go about now and fill up the tank. So to fill up the tank, you've got here, as you can see, a juice plug.
bit fiddly. So you can see over here is the hole where you put in your juice. Now it's got a squonking pin, so if you put it on a squonker, it's no problem. You just press the squonker and it'll fill up from the bottom. But he wants to vape this as a RDTA, as a tank, not as a squonking. So we need to put in the juice from the top. Now he likes this very much, the Drake's Williams whiskey. So we'll put that in for him. I mean, this is 9 milligram. He likes a bit stronger, but for this review, I'm putting in the 9 milligram, and then later we'll have to clean the tank in any case for him. So I will change it to his own liquid. Right, so let's go about filling up the tank. Now remember, if you've got a very thick nozzle bottle, like from Juice Cabin for instance, you'll have a problem fitting into this hole. Okay. Now if you, because you see it's quite thin, this nozzle just about fits it. And Juice Cabin normally are thicker ones, and other companies are, you know, those Gorilla bottles. So you're gonna have to put them either into a smaller bottle or take a syringe. Okay, plugged in. So now this tank is ready. Now if you leave it, you can see already it's starting to saturate the cotton, but we want to vape it now quickly. I want to talk about the airflow. Took me a bit longer because I did the coil. I want to make sure you see exactly how this tank looks, because it is an excellent tank, just not, I don't think, a perfect mouth to long draw, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, let's just see the ohms, if any change. Yeah, 1.04. Okay, it's a 1 ohm coil. I told him I'll try and get it to him between 0.98 to 1.3, 1.4, something like that. Right, so here's the tank. It looks very nice indeed. We'll put it on this mod, on the Vaporesso Tarot Baby, and I think it looks very matchy if you're into this sort of thing. I'm not sure what mod he's going to put it on, but it looks quite nice. You got the silver, the black, all nicely matched up. Right, so let's see now. The airflow is fully open. Let's give this a vape. Comes up as 105. 110. Yeah. Okay. 16 watts. Very good flavor. Oh wow. Very good flavor. Reason being is because you see your coil is right by the airflow, and this is a mouth to long coil. Imagine you put in a alien coil direct along, you will get top flavor from an alien coil, that's for sure. But this is a mouth to long coil and a mouth to long wattage. You see how the wick is saturated now fully. Okay, I added a bit on the top, but this will wick no problem because it's immersed in liquid. So this is a very good solution for anyone who has problems with wicking. Now, okay, now I'm going to close it one hole. Let's see if I can do a mouth to long. Bit loose. He likes it loose anyways. I will do now 1.5. More like it. Yes, 1.5 I can get away with. I mean, you can see that is really nearly shot. Let me see which angle you can see the best. See, because the light is on it. You can see how. Oh, you can see how it is nearly shot. See, this is fully shot now. I'm opening a let me try and find the holes properly so you can see it better. Let me find, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so now I'm closing one. Where's the airflow gone? Ah, here we are. Here we are. Yeah, one, and I'm closing now nearly 3/4 of a second. It's getting a proper mouth to lung now. Well, a bit airy still. I'm going to close even further. This is nearly shot, just a sliver open. This is very tight mouth to lung and it's quite silent. I mean, listen. Quite silent. But I'm just wondering if this is not going to warm up the coil too much, because there's hardly any air coming in. Because if I shut this all the way, there's nothing. So obviously this is the only place where the air is coming into the coil. Okay, this is already this is already, I can cope with this kind of airflow. He would want it most probably one open. Yes, he will want that most probably like that. He likes it loose. I like it I like it nearly shot. Ooh, strong liquid. Whoa, whiskey. This is top liquid. I reviewed it. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Yeah, so this tank, what do I think of it? Well, we'll vape it now for a bit and I'll finish this review, but so far I'm quite impressed. I mean, it does look stunning. Elegant, compact, tiny tank. I mean, just look comparison to the Pioneer. I mean, and the Pioneer is not big. I mean, just look. This is tiny. Absolutely tiny. But the flavor is very good on this, on the Aston. But the airflow, obviously the Pioneer is a lot more from mouth to lung, and so is the mouthpiece. Might change the mouthpiece if I was him, but it's up to him. Let me change the mouthpiece quickly. I know this review is already, what, 25 minutes. This is only the middle section. Let me try. Oh, so it looks not bad actually. Let me try. Very nice. Much more comfortable. Much more comfortable. Oops. So at least you have an option to change your mouthpiece. That's good. Okay. I'll review this now for a few days and I'll finish off this review. But for you, it's going to be in just a moment.
Right, so we're back on top and you've seen how I built the tank. You've seen how easy it is to wick. Now, I'm going to finish this tank and I'm going to clean this tank fully, re-wick it for him and give it to him to start vaping. I'm going to get one myself. The reason why is because, first of all, the size. I mean, just look at this size compared to my other tanks. I mean, this is the Artemis. I mean, look, okay, this is a bit extra. I think it's 2.4 in here, and this is 2 mil. Okay, but this is a mouth to lung use. Look at the difference. Look at the difference in the Pioneer. They're all massively bigger. But look at this tank the RDTA compared to this, this is an excellent tank. I love the looks, I love it. This is, but for him, he wanted something as a compact kit. I think he's gonna get a similar mod to this, or he's gonna get the Gen Nano, the Gen Nano. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look more or less the same. It's the same size mod. So it'll have a very nice compact kit. Now, when it comes to the airflow, you see, this is completely open. I've got in here the mouth to long coil, as you know, as you can see. Look at this wick, beautiful, saturated. It's all the time moist. As you tilt it, the wick absorbs the liquid. Very similar mechanism to this, but this is just simply bigger. Now, when you wide open, you can do a direct to long, restricted direct to long. Very good liquid in here is the Drake's William whiskey, as you've seen below. Very delicious. Now, if you want to vape this on a mouth to long, the only way you can do this is if you keep, as you've seen below, nearly all shot. And then this tank, this is completely silent. 1 minute, it's still not tight enough. You have to work out the airflow. Can't hear sound. This is a restrictive mouth to long. It's nearly shot, basically. I don't know if it's designed to be such a restrictive mouth to long, because at the end of the day, the coil is getting the air through the sides, and if you keep it completely, nearly completely shut, it's getting very little air. I've been vaping this like this, and everything seems fine. So obviously, this can be vaped as a mouth to long tank. And the flavor, I must tell you, is superb. Exactly the way I know this flavor on my other tanks. It is a very good mouth to long, fully accurate, spot on flavor from my naturally extracted tobacco. But if you like, you know, I always add this but, if you like the restricted direct mouth to long on this tank, you really need to keep it completely shut. Nearly, it's just a tiny amount open. And this is a very silent mouth to long draw. He would vape it on one open, and then it's more like a smoke node type of vape. No, it's a bit airier than the smoke node. Let me close it halfway. Yeah, let's try this. This is very much the same as the smoke node on the 0.8 coil. So, what do I think? First of all, I already told you I might get one. I'm getting one myself. He got it from a company in Spain called mqv.com. And he got it the next day. He paid, I think, 14 euros, and he got it the same day. So all in all, it cost him, I think, 40 something euros. That is a very good price. I mean, it's 39 something euros, 39.99 maybe for this tank without shipment. It's a top price for a top tank like this. I mean, you see, it's always worth shopping around. Yeah, so I do I'm very impressed with this tank, with this build quality, with the size, with the flavor. The only thing you have to be aware of is the draw. It's not, even if you put in a proper coil, a sub-ohm coil, a 0.3, you know, a direct-to-long coil, like an RTA dripper coil, you would get a more of a restricted direct-to-long. I like it. It's very nice direct-to-long. And this is on the mouth-to-long coil, the 1 ohm. So obviously, you'll get a bit more air, more dense flavor, higher wattage. But I do not recommend higher wattage on naturally extracted tobacco. So I think this can be catered for both mouth-to-long who like a bit of a looser mouth-to-long, and you could get a proper mouth-to-long with keeping this nearly shut. I've been vaping this for a while, no problem at all. The flavor is very good. The only thing is the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece, if you are mouth-to-longer, this is not the right mouthpiece. So what you can do is put your own mouthpiece in. Let me take one from, I'll even take out one from the Brunhilde. This is a proper mouth-to-long. Okay, I look a bit silly on this tank, obviously, but you can put any mouthpiece that you feel comfortable with, and then you've got your mouth-to-long mouthpiece. Yeah, okay, this looks nicer like this, but you could find something matching, something that you'll find comfortable with. You've seen how I used my Pioneer mouthpiece, and on the Pioneer you get a few mouthpieces, but it looks not bad. Okay, everyone with their liking, with their preference. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I think about this tank. I'm quite impressed with it, indeed. So let's go now, just to finish off this review, let's go now to just a few specs. It's a 22mm tank, so it'll fit any mod. Height 31mm, that's very small. As you see in a single coil design, I'll put it down also below. Material is a 304L stainless steel. Now remember I spoke below what type of spare glass. Is it glass? It says here Pyrex PSU. So if you don't want to see this wick peeking out, doesn't bother me at all. You can put this, and that will obscure that wick. Top filling, obviously, have you seen over here? You take this one out, and you just put in your liquid. You've seen you can't use very chubby bottles there. That's one thing you need to remember. But if you're using this as a squonk, it all come from below. Then you don't have to touch that one. And it includes a squonking pin as well. Yeah, I think I've gone through this tank fully. I've noticed also you could adjust the airflow halfway down, sort of from the top. Yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, so I mean, I'm very impressed with this tank, I must tell you. And I've been vaping this as a mouth-to-long. You just have to find that setting and leave it there. And that's it. It's nearly all shut. But it's completely silent when you do it this type of setting. Right, so I fully recommend this tank if you're looking for something that you don't have no wicking issues. You just tug them in and that is it. There's nothing to do else. But you have to remember the airflow. The airflow has to be adjusted. Yeah, on most of mouth-to-long tanks, you get a proper mouth to lung draw. Yeah, with all this, you know, the easier settings to deal with. Let me try this now. You need to change, I think, the mouthpiece to get the true mouth to lung feel and keep it completely shut. All right, the reason why I went a lot about the airflow and the draw, because this is the main drawback when it comes to a proper mouth to lung. You really need to keep it nearly shut. Those who like a bit looser mouth to lung will find here no problem at all to find their preference. But even those who like it restricted will find it. Also, I liked very much the way it came, the packaging, very classy. This you could use as a stand. Very nice indeed. All in all, it's a very good quality tank. And for all intents and purposes, you could use it as a direct to lung, mouth to lung, or loose mouth to lung. So it's quite varied, and it's not complicated. There's no airflow with inserts and all sorts of things like you got with other tanks. It's just simply turning your cap. All right, until I think I concluded this review, I went through everything fully. Yeah, so with this, I would say goodbye, and until the next review, take care. Bye-bye for now.